Hello, Jen here. I have something just a little bit different today. I am going to try playing with my Traveler's Notebook. So I bought this at Michael's when it was on clearance. I think they were regular $19.99. That could be wrong. They might have been $24.99 in Canada and $19.99 in the US. But in any case, I got them for $2.99, so I was pretty pleased with that. Um, I got two for myself and I got one for my daughter. And then recently, Sarah Swan has been posting some videos on her Traveler's Notebook, and she's been using it for the 30 days of lists. I think she did her list, it was either September or October's list. And I thought that was a really great idea and a good way to sort of introduce myself to Traveler's Notebooks. So I subscribed to the email for the 30 days of lists, and it comes with the very first list as a freebie. And it just happened to be a lot of lists that are, I don't want to say more personal, but instead of being directed towards any one specific theme or season, they're sort of just more questions about yourself. So that worked out good because November is my birthday month, so I thought it was the perfect time to try this project out. And I have done other lists before, like the Listers Got a List lists. Oh boy, I'm going to say lists a lot in this video. I am so sorry. Bear with me. But I have tried them out before, and I really do enjoy the whole idea of writing lists and documenting things, and using the prompts to kind of guide you into making lists and recording sort of your everyday life. But I find some of the ladies are just so talented, like beyond what I could ever dream of being. They're very artistic, and they doodle and draw, and they're amazing with hand lettering. And if you've never checked out the Listers Got a List with the Reset Girls on Facebook and Instagram, or I'm sure that some of these ladies have YouTube videos too, you really need to check it out because their work is just incredible. But I find it very intimidating and daunting because I'm not an artist. But after watching Sarah do hers, I really was excited to pull mine out because I think I can sort of follow her suit a little bit better, and do something that is more of a reflection of who I am. So I chose the craft insert. Each of these notebooks came with a white insert and a craft insert. And so just to be a little bit different, I chose the craft one. And I will get exactly 30 days out of this. So every page will have one list for one day. And then I'm going to try and stick to just some bare essentials when it comes to decorating. So you saw me going through a paper pad. That's a 6x6 paper pad that I got at the Great Canadian Scrapbook Carnival. It came in the swag bag, and I think it's from Kaiser Craft. And it's not really colors or themes that I would generally use. It's very flowery. It has a lot of sort of grunginess to it, and icons like bicycles and stuff like that. It's not really me. But the overall theme of the paper pad is sort of a female motivation. So it talks a lot about, she could dance and she can do it and things like that. So in the end, I think it was probably the perfect pad to use up in something like this. And then I have a few little die cuts. So you saw me going through some star die cuts. Those came from a swap that my local scrapbooking group did. Every once in a while we will organize a swap, and this past month it was die cuts, so you just make up little baggies for the amount of people in the swap, and then in return you get back a baggie from each of those people. So it's kind of a fun way for us to share everything that we have. So one of the ladies cut out a bunch of stars, and I'm going to try and use some of those here too. And I liked that blue one because it's filled with really nice text, so it kind of works for a list. And then the last thing that I'm going to use that you saw was some washi tape that I got at Winners. So the colors are sort of aqua and blues, and then sort of, I don't know, a little bit darker than champagne, but maybe copper. Oh, and my stamps. That same no-name stamp set that I think I've already shown before. It just has some cute little whimsical stamps, like you saw me use to make a border here. So I thought it would be good. And a lot of the stamps fit right onto the cap of my Prima ink, so it makes it very portable. Oh, there you can see the text. It's sort of a darker navy blue, and I just liked the way it looked. So day one, let me read you what day one was, since I was chatting while I was doing it. The prompt for day one was a few things about myself. So what I wrote was, I am a mom, wife, daughter, sister. I'm going to have to add auntie in there because I am a super proud auntie. I love to be creative. I love reading. I am a dreamer. People always tell me I have my head in the clouds. I love going out on adventures equally as much as staying home to snuggle on the couch and watch TV and read. So that was day one. And then the prompt for day two, which is what I'm working on now, is things you are good at. And you're going to notice as we go through this that I really struggle. I know the whole point was to do this about myself, and I was really excited to have a journal all about me for my birthday, but I'm really, really bad at self-reflection and having the confidence to kind of put this stuff out there. So I do struggle quite a bit with the lists, and over time I think I'll go back and fill them in as I think of things. Yeah, so this will sort of be an ever-evolving project. But I will read you what I wrote down. For things that I'm good at, I have being a mother, scrapbooking, cake decorating, listening, being patient. And I'm gonna challenge myself to add a few more things to that. And then I'll just read you too the little card that I put down in the bottom there. It said, "Be your own kind of beautiful." Oh, and for day one, that little card said, "She is clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future," which is something I hope to do. I hope to be. So, and then now for day three, I really liked this piece of paper, but you can see there how it's very sort of distressed and grungy, and it's not really a style that I particularly like. So I cut out the little doily, and it says, I gotta get it in the light here. Here we go. "Until you spread your wings, you'll never know how far you'll fly." So again, I thought that was kind of a nice one for the prompt for day three, which is, I'm looking forward to. So I just put that down, and I made sure that it was far enough away from the spine that it's not going to bulk up that central spine too much. And I just cut some little fishtails out of those other two pieces, and I'm going to put them in behind. So I'm not trying to do anything too crazy. I'm just doing a few simple little decorations, and then I just really want the lists to be the part that is emphasized. So down at the bottom, that washi tape says "Explore, Explore, Explore." And now I'm just looking for something that I can stamp on there. because the text in the doily is so dark that I want to just spread a little bit of that black around the page. So I think I pick these little bubbles. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be champagne bubbles because there are some champagne glasses that come in the stamp set. It's kind of a, I don't know, celebratory stamp set, but then it also has some dogs and cats and a bear. I don't know, it's the most random stamp set I've ever seen. So I'm just going to put my list up at the top, and then I write, so I'm looking forward to our adoption being finalized finally, our great August adventure, we're planning a big trip in August, the holiday season ahead, Kaylin's competition season, which will be starting soon for dance, and a wonderful 2017. And then I do have room down at the bottom if I want to add more things to that. That one wasn't so bad. It was pretty easy. And then here for the next page, the prompt is playlist. So this paper pad actually worked out perfectly. It had this beautiful piece of paper with a musical score on it. And at first I thought I would just fill the whole page with it and then maybe put something on top. But then I decided I actually kind of like those flowers up at the top. So I'm going to work with those. So again, I'm going to put this near the spine, but not right into the spine because I want to make sure that the book will close properly. And then I noticed that one of the cards has, again, the musical notes on it, and then it says today. So I thought that was perfect to put on today's playlist. So I'm going to back it with that blue paper, and that's the same piece that the doily came from. So I'm just spreading some of that blue color over onto the other page. And I'll pop that down. And I like to have a few layers behind some of the cards just because I want to have some interest, but I'm really trying to pay attention to how thick I'm making everything. And so I just wrote playlist in that card, and then under playlist I'll put the number 4 as soon as I figure out what numbers I want to use, what thickers or whatever I have at home that I can use. And so I just filled out some of that playlist with things like, let's see, what have I been listening to? Unsteady by X Ambassadors, Cleopatra by the Lumineers, Way Down We Go by Cleo, Anything by the Strumbellas, July Talk, the Arkells. I don't listen to the music that people would assume that I listen to. I like alternative music mostly. And I will definitely add more to that list. So then here for the next day, the prompt was weekend goals. So I thought it was a good opportunity to use the washi tape that says awesome. And I'm going to use bicycle. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I'm almost 100% sure this is the first time I have ever used a bicycle in a scrapbooking project. I do know how to ride a bike in real life, but I mean, on paper, I find that to be a really hard one to use, but I just thought, when you think of the weekend, you think of doing stuff like going for bike rides or hikes or that kind of thing. So it was a good opportunity to put it in there. And then to make things a little bit different, I'm going to take a stamp. It's one I've already used. It's these cute little swirly circles. And I'm just going to stamp a border all around the edge of the page. And I'll just do some first and some second generation stamping. I'm not worried too much about the circles lining up or anything like that, or it going over the edge. It's just just to add some interest. Whoops, I got some on the desk. I'm doing this at work, actually. I'm really lucky to have the free time to be able to do stuff like this at work. But that's why my lighting is a little bit wonky too. My camera doesn't really like the lights at work. So I'm just going to stamp that all around the edge. And that'll create a nice little border to sort of hold in that page. And that star is another star that came from my friend. And I don't mind that those stick out of the edge of the book. I don't know if at a later time I might decide I don't like that and cut those pieces off, but for now I'm okay with them hanging out. So I'll write down weekend goals, and then my list is finish cleaning up from Halloween, finish Christmas shopping for the boys, which I did. I am all done my Christmas shopping. Woohoo! Finish my book. I was reading The Creeping at that time. Go for a hike at Sheep River Falls, which is this beautiful waterfall, or I guess it's sort of a series of waterfalls in our local foothills. And we did go for that hike. It was such a gorgeous day, and we got to see a ton of mountain sheep all over the roads. We had to stop several times because they were actually right in the middle of the road and we couldn't pass. And while we were there, there were some people riding their horses and climbing up the side of the cliff. It's kind of, the river has made a canyon, so you're kind of on a bit of a cliff to go down and see it, and they were riding their horses. It was really awesome. And then the last one is meal plan for the upcoming week. So I actually completed all of those goals, which is pretty good. Good for me. I usually make those kinds of lists and then they just sit there. So on to the next page. I really was sort of lacking inspiration for this particular page. The prompt is my least favorite words. And if you know me in real life, you know that I have a lot of words that I don't like. My husband is going to laugh when he reads this one. And I disliked the prompt so much that I actually was thinking about skipping it or changing it to a different prompt. But I didn't. I went with it. So in the paper pad, they have a bunch of die cuts that you can just punch out. And one of the pages is just these borders. So I picked 3 borders. There's a sort of a lime green and white one, and a black and white damask style one, and then the red one that is a bunch of little circles has some butterflies on it. So I just layered those up, and then I found a little lime green tab that I can put the number 6 on. Is that 6? Yes. And I'm not going to read you my words that I dislike because I really don't like them. But they're probably the same typical words that most people don't like. And then for the last day of this video, day 7, the prompt was blog goals. So I found this white paper with little black circles, and the circles are actually text. So I thought that worked really nicely. And then that card says, follow your dreams, transform your life, which I also thought kind of worked nice. I'm not sure if I have big dreams about having a successful blog, or if having a successful blog is going to transform my life, but I still thought it worked pretty well because it would be nice to have some success with it. And the washi tape there says make it happen, so I thought that also worked really well. So I'm just going to layer this little card on top of that white and black dot paper, and then the follow your dreams card. And then I'm going to keep my list sort of in between those 2 borders from the washi. So for my blog goals, I have increase my readership, maintain a consistent schedule, be confident in what I write, be brave enough to share my opinions, and share my blog with more people. Because let's be honest, if you don't share it with people, then no one knows you even have it, which is probably my biggest problem. And that about does it for my first 7 days of my traveler's notebook. I'm going to keep saying journal, but I mean notebook. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy scrapping. Bye.